Here is some pine mulch. I'm gonna mulch this raised garden bed today. By adding mulch, you suppress the weeds. You don't have to water as frequently. The soil temperature doesn't fluctuate nearly as much. And if you use organic mulch, when it breaks down, it's going to add nutrients back into the soil. This all leads to healthier soil, and you guys will get a bigger harvest out of it. In today's video, I'm going to teach you guys how to mulch your raised garden bed or your garden bed in general, and I'll teach you some tricks that I've learned along the way. Before we get started, I know it's asking a lot, but if you guys could take 2 seconds and hit that like button, it's free. And if you don't like the video, if you didn't find it useful, you guys can always unlike. Now, stick around. I think you'll like what I mulch for you. Let's get into it. When it comes to your garden, you can use organic or you can use inorganic. I personally prefer organic mulch because it will break down and add nutrients back into the soil. And for everyone watching, it's going to be impossible for me to suggest a specific mulch for you guys because each location is different. In one location, straw might be readily available, but in a different location, that's too expensive to buy for your mulch. The best thing for you guys to do is look in your local area and see what you guys have and use that. I'll put a list of organic mulch here, and I'll put a list of inorganic mulch here. For your mulch, I find 2 to 3 inches is the perfect thickness to put down on your garden beds. That thickness will protect your soil and won't harbor any unwanted pests or moisture. If you ended up buying a house that already had mulch put down, I would suggest turning it over and mixing it up. And that's just because the rain will compress the mulch down, and then water on top of the soil when it does rain isn't going to be able to penetrate and water your plants properly. And make sure that you do not exceed 3 inches. Anything more than 3 inches will just compact too much, suffocate your plants pretty much. When you lay the mulch down, you can use a pitchfork, a rake, a shovel, or for what I'm doing today, my hands. There isn't much of a trick to placing the mulch down. You'll be moving it around afterwards, so just be generous and just get it into your garden. I usually place the mulch in between where my plants are or where my seeds are going to be as I throw it down. The second step is to move your mulch around so there's 2 to 3 inches everywhere. And the last step is to keep the mulch 3 inches away from your plant stems. And this is just to avoid root rot or fungus problems. And give the mulch a good watering. So in this new area here, I planted some new sugar peas and some pole beans right here. So what I'm going to be doing is a lot lighter of a mulch. Not going to put nearly as thick, and I'm going to pick from the bottom of the barrel just so it's not big chunks, and that's going to allow moisture to stay within the soil and then the seeds to sprout or to germinate. And what I like to do is anything too large for my raised garden bed, any bigger chunks that'll possibly be too heavy for the garden, I end up throwing onto my walking path, and that just suppresses the weed in between my walking path. If you add 2 inches of mulch on top of your soil, you're gonna get less weeds. Yes, you'll still get some weeds that pop through the mulch, but the ones that do are going to be a lot easier to get rid of because they've already used their energy to pop through that mulch. So that's it. That's how you guys mulch your raised garden beds. It's aesthetically pleasing, and studies have shown that it helps increase your harvest by 30% if you do throw down mulch. So why not? If you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and hitting that like button. I'll see you in the next video.